right, coming up next, we're going to tell you the key to finding true happiness, and you'll be grateful we did. See you after the break. Thanks for joining us. Well, can being thankful for a sunny day or the health of your family really make you a happier person? Our next guest says absolutely. We welcome the director of the film The Gratitude Experiment, Doug Vermeeren. Good to see you, Doug.
It's awesome to be with you guys.
So tell us about that, about the connection between health and happiness and it all being connected.
Sure. Well, what we found as we did the gratitude experiment is that we're actually some changes that occur, within our biochemistry.
Explain the experiment first, maybe.
Well, okay, so basically what I wanted to see is, does gratitude really make a difference in our life? Because we subscribe so often to positive psychology. Are we as people fooling ourselves? Are we telling ourselves that everything is good and then just making it that way? And so I really wanted to know, does gratitude make a difference in our life? When we practice it, do we get better? Are things better for us, or are we just fooling ourselves? So that was the beginning of the experiment. And then, as you're talking about with biochemistry, does it make a difference inside us, scientifically? And we found that it does. In fact, one of the things that was very interesting was that, normally our brains are wired to be negative, right? Mm-hmm. Or to protect us, to put us in survival mode. So we're always looking for what could hurt us or what could harm us. But all of a sudden when we shift and we start to see things from a gratitude perspective, just the way we even process information and the way our brain waves react and receive it is totally different. It's a unique kind of wave that's there that allows us to better problem solve.
So with the experiment, how did you measure the gratitude and the results? How did you and the benefit? Was it biochemistry?
We did actually a lot of the scientific elements, but we also did some real world experiments. In fact, one that's really kind of funny and a little embarrassed to say, didn't make it in the movie because this girl wouldn't sign a release. We went into a Starbucks, we set up a hidden camera, and then I went to the counter and I treated the girl really kind of meanly, right? And I wanted to see sort of what was the effect when we were very adverse to her and negative and challenging and berating a little bit. But we saw how she treated the next 5 people, and wow, they got exactly what I handed out to her.
Oh,
and then, of course, she wouldn't sign the release because she was very frustrated that we did this. But then we went into another Starbucks and I did completely the opposite, and I showed appreciation and gratitude and expressed, calling the person by name and recognizing the good work that they did, and this person just ignited. And all of a sudden the next 5 people in a row there actually got what we had given.
Is this almost as simple as a yawn is contagious, a smile is contagious?
I would think so. I think really, if you think of how we are as people, until we start interacting with another person, we're kind of in our own world, our own inner dialogue, if you will. But the minute that we react with someone or interact with someone, we really sort of assume partly the energy that's there in the conversation, and we can either create it or we can receive it, right? We can react to it. And so oftentimes if we're going to be bringing positive energy to us, that person will respond. But if we come in a bad mood, just try it at home today if you want to. Try a good mood with one of your family members, then try a bad mood with another and see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, can gratitude change a negative situation or a challenging situation?
100%, because really situations themselves are neutral. What makes a situation positive or negative is our reaction to it, how we respond to it. And if we learn how to respond in positive ways, if we learn how to interpret things in more manageable ways, if you will, we then see the situation totally differently. Right.
So let's talk about some ways people can express and practice gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, other than just being kind, what do you do?
Well, it's interesting. The first thing to having a gratitude shift is awareness. And what I mean by that is awareness of how you're currently responding. In fact, some of us, even in the middle of, say, for example, a contentious moment or an argument, sometimes we get it that we're on the wrong track.
Right.
So there's courage that it takes to admit that awareness and make the shift. And then we really do have to make a decision. What will we do next? Are we going to follow the course where we're currently processing the information, or are we going to do something new? It's interesting, this idea also of a gratitude journal is very, very helpful, because it often allows us to count our blessings. Rather than taking things for granted, we can take them for gifts. So that's another really big positive thing as well.
What is it about some people that they can't express gratitude?
It's interesting because when we did our studies, we looked at what is the opposite of gratitude. Mm-hmm. What is the biggest thing that keeps people from being grateful or destroys it the quickest? And it's self-entitlement. So when a person feels like they're entitled to something, they obviously, you know, they put up walls, they start expecting more, they start treating people different. You know, for example, a boss to an employee, I pay for you to be here, so therefore you must behave. Or sometimes even a parent to a child, I own this house, either you live by my rules or you're out. You know, I mean, sometimes there's that sense of entitlement, and so it's very hard to establish a feeling of gratitude or harmony in that situation.
Very quickly, I want to, because the other side of that, people accepting it. Hey, thank you for the hard work you did. Oh, it was nothing. People can't accept compliments or things.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a cycle, if you will, or a flow. And if we can't accept, we can't continue to receive. And so we've got to recognize that accepting gratitude is just as important as giving it.
Yeah, very good. All right, we've got more on the website at KATU.com. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
Nice. Thank you for being here.
We really appreciate
you were here. It was
thank you for having me.
You were so much better than all the other guests we've ever had.
Well, that's not true, but thank you.
You know, take that with you wherever you go.
Accept it.
Okay, I should accept that.
There you go. All right, we'll be right back with your chance to win tickets to the Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey Circus. Don't go away.